Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Transatlantic Splatoon League, where FTWin is currently winless and lossless, but they're winless. And so they're about to start their season the second time around. What now?
They're net zero. They haven't won, they haven't lost, right? Okay.
But they haven't won.
Okay.
And we expect them to win. So we'll see if they can win today versus Supernova. Supernova, by the way, is looking for a potential run towards playoffs. We'll get into that a little bit more in a bit. But hello, everybody. My name is Kbot. Of course, I'm joined tonight by Melissa, a.k.a. Acid Sunshine. How are you doing, my friend? It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm really excited. Thank you so much for inviting me to come. When you said Transatlantic Splatoon League, I'm like, that's what TASL stands for. And I knew that, but hearing you say it, I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to this set because these are some of my favorite players, some of my favorite personalities within the game, the community, people who I've watched like grow as people, which that I'm totally like into the interpersonal connections we have with our community. So being able to see a lot of these players again is really exciting to me. So thank you.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun to follow these players over the course of the entire league so far, right? I say that. FTWin has technically played a match. So the context here, everybody, is FTWin has technically already played a match, but it was versus Sayonara. Sayonara has dropped from league competition, and therefore all matches that were previously played and were going to be played are going to be voided against Sayonara in terms of league standings. So effectively, FTWin has not won or lost in league play. They have 3 matches yet to go, and those are the only 3 matches that remain in the North American side of the Transatlantic Splatoon League. So they are kind of in control of their own destiny, right? If they win out, they get first seed. If they, I guess we can go into more specifics after the set locks in, and we really start to get into the nitty-gritty of what goes on with playoffs. But should definitely be a good one here. And the maps, of course, in case you're just joining us for the first time, first 1, 4, 7 are all neutral picks. 2, 5, 8 are all first seed picks. In this case, I told the players, I forgot to tell them to.
What? Huh?
Hang on.
What happened now?
No, it's nothing except my bad. Yeah. You take it over.
I was going to say, while he does whatever he's doing on his side, I'm looking in the lobby here because I'm also in the lobby, which is a nice treat for me. And Bagel is playing with FTWin, which I was super excited to see as well. And I'm really interested to see how that synergy is going to work together because we all know how well Bagel does on pretty much any weapon I think he chooses to pick up. Looks like now we're not going to be in the lobby anymore, so that's okay. But yeah, it's going to be really exciting to watch.
It is going to be exciting to watch, as my Pro Controller just died, so now I have to pull out a different set of controllers. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine, everybody. We're going to be A-okay. It's all good. Now, we're resetting the lobby right now. We're resetting the lobby right now because I did not ask for FTWin to be alpha side. And, of course, every time you don't ask the players for something, they do it the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But
it is, yeah.
So, as you mentioned, FTWin's playing with Bagel. Bagel's previously on Sayonara, of course. By the way, that's why I made the meme on Twitter that had FTWin in the Mr. Monopoly thing. I don't know if any of you saw that. That's the reason why, and none of you probably actually knew that Bagel was joining the roster. So it's funny because now FTWin has a monopoly on all of the one-trick not players. All right? So now you can go back and retweet it.
You can't tell them what to tweet or not tweet.
I can. I can.
So where was this? This is on your personal Twitter?
No, this is on the TASL Twitter. This is on the TASL Twitter. Yeah.
All right. And you
also, the lobby's
something?
back open.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Same password?
Same password. Yeah, I tweeted out that picture without context about... How many days ago was that? It was like...
On the 8th of November.
Yeah, it was like Sunday or something. Or maybe Monday. I don't even know. But it was funny, and you all didn't even know why it was funny. So, now you know why it's funny. As Bagel's playing with FTWin on their official roster for the Transatlantic Splatoon League. We are actually going to be hopping into things this time. 90 seconds on the clock. These players lock in their compositions on Rainmaker, Humpback, Pump Track. One of those tight quarters maps is all going to come down to those choke points.
It certainly is. I actually adore watching this map be played pretty much on any mode, but I think my favorite is Clamblitz, which I know everybody hates on this map because it knocks out so quickly, but Rainmaker as well. You can get locked out so fast on this, but if you make a really good play and you can push through that side very quickly, you're in really good shape. So I'm interested to see what team is going to be able to do that and what we're going to be looking at when they do.
Definitely going to be interesting as we hop into this one. I was curious to know how much time that Kbot would spend on the Soda Splasher. Why is my controller not working?
Uh-oh.
Okay, I can't press the X button. Joy-Cons are weird sometimes. Anyway, sorry guys, you don't get to see the weapon composite or the loadouts, but we're going to load into this game nonetheless. And I will probably try to plug in my controller. So Melissa, take it away.
Yeah, so it looks like first, right away, they are doing a really good job kind of picking up the Rainmaker, pushing forward. I think that this is really fun to sort of see how Supernova has shut FTWin down very, very quickly in those early couple of seconds into the match here. They are pushing forward, not able to make a lot of momentum, obviously, because this is where that very simple choke point can be easily defendable, which FTWin does beautifully, able to take out 3 of Supernova at that time. And of course, they are pushing to the favorite of mine, the left side, which is exactly where you want to see FTWin go. And a beautiful 30 points right there.
Well done to them to get it down to that 30-point mark. And so it is going to put a lot more pressure on Supernova, right, to perform here. And the pressure is something that you're not going to want to see in this specific instance. They're now a couple members down. It was a 3 or a 1 for 2 there. In favor of FTWin, and so their pressure is still mounting, right? They want to make sure that this Rainmaker keeps on this side of the map, and FTWin's doing a good job of getting picks necessary. Mercy's just going to pick up the Rainmaker and extend their lead just a little bit more. Well done by FTWin to keep the pressure rolling.
This was sort of what I was hinting at when I said I really like watching Rainmaker on this map, because FTWin is my favorite team to watch play Rainmaker on maps that everybody else doesn't like, because they pick up the Rainmaker and they'll move it in a direction that no one else is expecting them to go, and then all of a sudden they have those easy points and they're able to kind of keep pushing through, and they do those little bit of suicidal pushes, if you will, because they want to make sure that they're getting the points over staying alive, which I kind of appreciate in this instance.
They have to be careful here, as that complete wipe is going to allow for Supernova to pick up the Rainmaker. Able to get shut down, though, as Bagel steps forward. The fantastic Nautilus play that we all know and love out of the breakfast foods, but Arashi picks up the Rainmaker nonetheless here. Is going to fire the Rainmaker. Actually, 3 go down on that side for Supernova. That's the complete wipe, and that's going to mean a nice hold for FTWin.
I loved what Supernova wanted to do, right? They're like, hey, FTWin did this, we can run it back, we can do that too, but they really couldn't, right? They unfortunately lost a lot of players in that one little skirmish there and made it very, very difficult for them to kind of control this right-hand side where the Rainmaker is currently pushing, so that now FTWin will have a good shot to be able to get pretty close to where they want to be in that right area, and I believe they're going to be able to then pop the Rainmaker and move it out on Supernova's side, unless Bagel has something to say about it.
0 drop there, and Bagel's able to pick up that one. Now it's able to pick up the one under Chara, and they're just leaving this Rainmaker kind of unattended for the time being. The Rainmaker will reset, but that means it's going to go back into mid, which has been in favor of FTWin right now. FTWin pops the armor, moves forward here a little bit. Juan goes down. Zero has to back up and try to prepare these missiles to get some kind of a defense going. With the 2-down situation, Supernova's not looking very good, as Ko is going to find that fall-off damage over top of the pedestal. Bursty going to come in with a dunk, and that's going to be FTWin going up 1-0.
This is what I'm talking about, Kbot. Like, how, I don't know, watching them play makes me so excited for Splatoon. Yeah. I think both of these teams together, you know, they have a lot of finesse in their own ways, but like, look at that KA. You don't get that from many other teams. I know you and I were talking a little bit early on of like what FTWin's play is going to look like. Are they going to take the time to try out different comps? What are they going to be looking at? How strong will they be in terms of weapons that we see them play consistently and really know and love? And I'm excited to see what they do for the rest of it as well, because it can be a little different in terms of like how you have the map set up, which I really appreciate as well. And I'm wondering how that's going to factor in to them playing. And you said that they've only played one match, right?
Yeah, so FTWin's only played one match. It was a 5-0 sweep over
Okay.
a Sayonara with half of their roster. So it was a roster that, didn't really play a ton of themselves.
Okay.
So this is probably one of their first tests against a team. I think, honestly, Supernova might be slightly stronger than Sayonara was on that day. Supernova had a very strong showing against Slaughterhouse last week in the Transatlantic Splatoon League. I think it was largely based around a little bit more aggressive play from both Zero and Juan. So I'm looking for that, see if they can counter Kyo, counter Bagel, and even some of the pressure that we've seen being applied by Biscuit. We're already hopping into Game 2. Tower Control Musselforge Fitness is the FTWin pick. We'll see if they can pull it off here.
Hopefully your Xbox button works this time around because
It does. It does.
I don't know. I'm really excited. I mean, I know we've seen these comps before, right? So this is nothing new to what we're looking at, nothing new to what we're seeing. But I just can't wait to see when we have Bagel on a weapon that he feels really good about, and then we have the ballpoint coming out too, which I'm very, very excited to see how these two can work together and what that synergy is going to look like.
The ballpoint Nautilus composition is something that I think FTWin was limit testing a little bit last night in Swim or Sink. They're bringing it out here as well, which shows that they have a lot of confidence. Also worth noting here is that Chara is actually on the Tri-Slosher, a pick that we don't often see from Chara, aiming for more of that frontline presence, but it looks like it's not quite paying off right now as FTWin's going to get storming past this first checkpoint. They're going to approach the second as Kyo's getting a little bit more work done onto Zero. Looks like they're going to hop on the tower, but now it's another 3-9 situation as Bagel's able to find 2, and Bagel's just going to continue allowing these leads and opening the doors of opportunity for FTWin to grow their lead.
I think this is exactly what we expect to see out of FTWin. Like we were talking about a little bit, that when they playtest some of these different comps that they're looking at and some things that maybe they are not as conventional for other teams, they tend to either come out really strong or really weak. And I think right now that opening push, that was one push. That opening brought him all the way to 28, and that was just one single push within the first minute and 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah, and well done once more. FTWin is not willing to give away objective pressure that easily. We'll have to see again if Supernova can try to come on back in this game. I think now they have a little bit of opportunity to start pushing as it's a 2-down situation. You see Juan's already in a nice position here on that Kensa machine, able to find those arc shots here over top of that little drop, but it is going to be in this first checkpoint cleared for Supernova. All the meanwhile, though, I say that's all they're going to get. Kyo's able to move up on the other side, and the other fights go in favor of FTWin. That's going to mean the delayed wipe onto Supernova.
Very, very nice. Exactly kind of what they want at this point, right? They want to make sure that they can take that little bit of time that delayed wipe is going to buy them and regroup and come up with a good plan for moving back in. The map is very, very yellow right now. It shows that it's in FTWin's favor. They are going to do what they can to push back through. They don't have any checkpoints to clear except for that last one, so it's going to be extremely helpful for them to be able to continue to move forward. Of course, Supernova does have something to say about it, as Arashi is able to drop down and be a bit of a distraction over here.
Arashi, you should not have stayed alive for that long, but finally goes down. Biscuit's able to find a second here. Bercy's going to go down, though, back the other direction as Char is now starting to ride this tower, and Biscuit's going to have the smart play of just jumping back to safety. FTWin knows that they don't need to challenge this right now. They can challenge it as the tower comes to them, and they have a checkpoint that they can use to their advantage. So, well done game awareness of the state here. But with 2 minutes left to go in this game, I mean, we haven't seen Supernova really get a push going. They're not really move forward here. They don't have anything to contest Biscuit right now, who's just firing from afar with this ballpoint. It is going to mean, again, look at how much map coverage is currently yellow right now for FTWin. The splashdown, though, lands on the tower as we turn away. It looks like that doesn't matter much as Juan goes down, and it's going to mean FTWin holds their defense once more.
Let me tell you, it's very, very interesting to see, and I know this is why, you guys record this top-down view, but it's really nice to be able to see, what that looks like as well, because watching from here, Zero, not found out here, Rashi's going to come up as well. They are able to be discovered on that side, but you look from the top-down view, and you can see very easily they're walking into a disaster, and that's exactly what happens. FTWin takes perfect advantage of that situation. They're able to not only gain more map control, which they don't totally need at the moment because they're not really focusing on a push. They're just pushing because they can. And I think that that's really smart right now because we're down to a minute. You know, our time is getting slower. They do have a lead, and there's a whole checkpoint that Supernova would need to be able to get through before they can overtake that. So this is going to be the couple of the stressful last 45 seconds.
Definitely will be stressful. The other thing I want to comment on here is that I really want to see Supernova start playing more aggressive. The longest range weapon right now you have is a Fizzy Bomb on Juan, and is going to immediately get taken down by Biscuit's ballpoint. You cannot continue challenging this ballpoint if you don't have an answer for it, and so I honestly expect FTWin to just maintain map control, especially at the hands of Biscuit. I mean, look at how oppressive this ballpoint is, and has been for the majority of this match. None of these players of Supernova are really being aggressive, are really starting to challenge Biscuit. Biscuit's just able to do whatever he wants on a map.
That's always nice, right? When you have that power to kind of set up where you want to be in the perfect position for what you want, and literally pick off opponents from very far away, which is exactly what you want and why you use that ballpoint. And even the Nautilus, any of the ranged Slatlings, you want to be able to feel really confident in where you're setting up and just shut things down as quickly as possible. So I'm very, very pleasantly excited, I guess, to see that worked in FTWin's favor, because I think that it was a really strong showing from them, and it's going to be awesome to see what they decide to do next as well.
I really, again, if you're Supernova, that was not the play. I don't know what your play is on Musselforge Fitness of all things, but I don't think it was putting Chara on Tri-Slosher. Really, at the end of the day, again, they just didn't have a lot of map coverage. They really didn't have anything to contest Biscuit. And I think Biscuit was a large part of the reason why the defense was always holding for FTWin. And again, none of the players on Supernova really looked like they were comfortable stepping forward, comfortable trying to be a little bit more aggressive, get up in their faces. I mean, not even Zero, who's a player that we know that, we know he's going to go in. He just couldn't find an angle at all in that match. And that's going to lead FTWin going up 2-0. Now, though, we're heading to a little bit more of an open map, something that might be a little bit more skirmish favorable, I suppose. Something where Supernova can start to go for a couple of those in their own pick on Splatzone's Piranha Pit.
Absolutely. I think this is kind of where we have an opportunity for them to shine a little bit more. I'm excited to see what they decide to bring out. But obviously, we're waiting in this lobby. We hear the music. They're thinking about it. They're taking their time. They want to know, hey, I'm going into this and I feel more confident. I wonder if we're going to see more comfort picks this time around than maybe like a really strong, thought out concept of what will work with one another, but maybe what works good for them. I think that that's where they need to lean into right now, because they are getting kind of later in this set. FTWin does have 2 games so far, and they're moving along pretty quickly.
They are. And again, in some cases, it's going to come down to composition. In some cases, it's going to come down to execution. I really do think that it depends on what tools that Supernova is given as we head on into this game. Again, this is their pick. They should have the strategic advantage here. See if they can utilize that to an effective degree. Kyo going to switch back over to the Kensa Machine, and Chara back on the Explosher. Zero actually going for the custom dually Squelchers, opting for the mobility and a little bit longer range.
I like that. I really like that pick from Zero. I think this is where that aggression that you were talking about is really going to shine, because Zero can get very close in their face and kind of move out of those tough situations. And I think that's exactly what we need to see from him at this moment. Right now, you're talking about like a map that affords more skirmishes to the different players. What went on right there and kind of shutting everything down so quickly on Supernova, shutting down FTWin, was really, really good. They did prove that when they're able to come together and be in a position that they feel good about, they're able to shut down those plays that are coming in from FTWin.
Again, this is very skirmish-centric, right? I think Supernova really thrives in the positions where they can start to create chaos, given the fact that they have so many individually talented players and arguably 3 Slayers on the map, although Arashi put in that support position. The special engage is going to come through for FTWin. It's going to be in a 3-down situation, and it is going to be in a little bit more of a semblance of control for FTWin, although Juan is able to find one on a Kyo back the other direction. Still going to be a little bit of a staggered response, though, coming in from Supernova, as it looks like FTWin's going to be able to take the lead here.
Very nice job by them.
Okay.
Maybe? Yeah. I was like... but even still, I mean, they're still in a pretty good spot to be able to kind of take that over. I don't know how much further they're going to get on this, at least not very quickly. I think Bursty has a lot of work to do over here, paying very close attention to that one zone, because every time one more bomb comes in, something else comes up. But they are able to neutralize just for a second, and we'll see if Chara's Baller can do anything else as well. I don't know, Kbot. This looks like it's a little bit of a stronger fight for Supernova than I think they may have been anticipating.
Yeah, I think so. I think FTWin also kind of backed up a little bit. They're probably going to be looking for the re-engage and the punish here momentarily. Chara's trying to put as much ink on the zone, but here comes the Ink Storm. It's going to force Chara back away from this zone, and you'll notice where Biscuit already is, or maybe that was Biscuit. Coming off of that conveyor belt, again applying pressure, but actually they're just able to continue maintaining these zones and getting them painted. Zero's just trying to be pesky to kill. We've seen this matchup a lot so far in this game, although we haven't had the opportunity to call it out as much. Chara's just going to run away with the Baller. Zero's just, I guess this is just kind of like keeping Bagel occupied here. Which means that you have trust in your teammates, but meanwhile on the other side of the map, it was a 2-down situation and FTWin takes control of both zones.
Absolutely. I think Distractix was a word that I believe Fish had used a long time ago, and I absolutely adore it. Distractix is exactly what was going on right there, right? Zero getting in Bagel's face and just making sure that Bagel is only focusing on him so that his teammates can go throughout and do what they need to do in the middle of the map. Didn't work out as much as maybe they had anticipated it would, but I think that if they can perform something like that again, they'll have a little bit of a stronger opportunity. Of course, I say that, FTWin able to get a full wipe on Supernova.
Biscuit found the fall-off damage onto Chara too, which means that the zone isn't going to be able to get stalled out as much as it was in the last push. It's going to mean that Supernova's going to have to push back in, but now with the armor going down and now with Juan going down as well, time is quickly running out for Supernova in order to come back in this game. It's looking like it's going to be an FTWin knockout. Chara, once again with this Explosion, trying to get enough ink onto zone to at least neutralize it, at least stop this timer from ticking down, but it's another 2-down situation for as Arashi and Zero go down, and FTWin takes game 3.
Very, very nice job. I think, I don't know. I think that was just really beautifully done. Sayonara had a lot of really good concepting that they played, right? They pushed really well when they were coordinated. When they came in together as a team, they were able to get the picks that they needed to kind of accomplish their mission, I guess I want to say. But when they were a little more spread out maybe, or not quite as focused together as a team, that did show. And especially in those plays when we saw 2 members going down simultaneously over and over and over again, that's where it gets really difficult for them to be able to pull that back through.
To that point, a lot of the respawns for Supernova were staggered, and that's where FTWin was able to rack up a lot of their points and a lot of their holds on his own, was because some of these respawns were just coming in at inopportune times, and especially, I obviously we didn't get to see it on screen, so maybe it's something to look back in the overhead for, but Arashi going down. I want to see if FTWin was specifically targeting Arashi, because they probably know, I mean, the general meta is you charge for armor and then you push in, right? So if Arashi is not ever allowed to get that armor, Supernova's never going to feel comfortable and confident pushing in and creating that advantage for themselves. So that's one of the reasons why we didn't see that push at the end of the game, because Arashi, again, was going down. I had no idea how Arashi was going down. I couldn't tell you whether or not he was taking good fights or bad fights, because I didn't get to see it. But that's pretty much the reason there at the end of the game why FTWin was able to come out with that one. But we're already readied up and we're already about to hop into the next neutral pick, and we are resetting. So we saw this in week 1. There are only, I believe there's only 2 maps per mode in the neutral pick. So we're back on Tower Control, Manta Maria here. The NA matches have been rather close. We'll see if that also prevails in this one.
I don't know. I'm unsure how I feel about this. I think it's a really interesting comp coming out of Supernova. I think they kind of took your advice to heart when you were like, hey, get off that tri-slosher, but they don't have any slosher this time around. The Blaster, I think, is still going to afford them that little bit of chip damage that they might be looking for, but it's going to be a little bit of a long haul if they don't have a weapon that's going to be able to fight back to some of what we're looking at on the FTWin side.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Of course, I imagine that it's going to be much of Chara versus Biscuit. And what will that look like exactly here? Percy stepping on forward to try to find this one onto Zero. Actually, is playing the Nautilus for Supernova, but is going to get taken down. It's another 2-down situation, and Percy's just going to try to run away. Just quickly back to the other side. Nope, I'm back in the mid now. It's another 2-down situation, and here here again is where FTWin's setting up the staggered respawns. I don't know whether they're doing it intentionally or whether they're doing it accidentally, but they are doing it, and it's probably going to mean that they get this first checkpoint rather handily. Melissa? I feel like I lost Melissa. Okay, so 2-down situation actually for both teams right now. Kyo is able to find the one onto Char. It's going to extend this push for FTWin. 3 down again for Supernova. And the second checkpoint probably going to fall here as well. There's now 3 members on the tower for FTWin. Juan trying to step forward is going to get taken down. Char's able to find one onto Bagel before Bagel's able to get a lot more momentum built up here for Supernova. Now back the other direction. Chara getting a little bit of pressure, but a nice direct is going to shut that one down. Biscuit, you're no longer allowed to step forward. Chara absolutely popping off here. That's a complete wipe, and the defense finally is stopped.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I lost you there for a second, but I'm back, and it looks like I missed some really good pushes and some really good plays. You know, FTWin coming up with 28, really nice, but Chara, like you said, those beautiful directs, exactly what you want to see from a blaster player, and kind of proving me wrong, right? I said, hey, maybe this isn't the best pick, but hey, prove me wrong. Please, please, that's what I'm here for.
I think that's the play on tower control here, right? Especially for Chara. I'd rather see a Rapid over a Tri-Slosher or an Exploiter. So definitely I like this pick, and again, continuing to do work here, but the question is, can it get turned into advantages? Chara needs to find this one onto Biscuit at least, but is going to go down nonetheless. Only 2 alive right now on the map for Supernova, and FTWin is just going to pick up this tower and keep setting it the other direction.
I think a really good thing that Supernova did that last game, which made it a lot harder for FTWin to maintain the really strong lead that they have right now, is they put Zero right on top of Bagel, and I think that's kind of what they're doing again, but they're totally forgetting about Biscuit here, and that's something they need to pay attention to as well. If they can assign another player to kind of guard Biscuit, right? Hey, you be Biscuit's distraction, you be Bagel's distraction, the other 2, we can handle everyone else going on. I think that's a pretty... It could help them a little bit, because I think that's where they're struggling, right? They have both of these really nice ranged weapons that they're facing up against, and they're not quite getting the picks that they need because the players are setting themselves up in such a way that they can just rain down that pressure.
Y'all, we got to have someone ride the tower, and Jar's going to be the one to hop back on there. They are going to finally clear past this first checkpoint, but we're only 90 seconds left in this game in order for something to happen. The Ink Arbor's going to come out of Supernova, trying to anticipate the defense coming in from FTWin. It's going to get popped the other direction, though, as well, and Jar's going to start to apply pressure. How did Kyo get back there? I have absolutely no idea, but starting to approach from behind. Char forced to pop the ball here and has no other defense from the rest of Supernova. Going to get taken down. The rest of Supernova is trying to find something. Kyo is actually going to go down to Zero's Nautilus, and they might actually be able to step on this tower and clear the second checkpoint, which would be huge. They do find that. It's a 2-down situation actually for both squads. Juan's going to go down to Splat Bomb. Char with the chain jump in is going to go down as well. And FTWin, you were so close, but they're able to clutch it out there at the end. We'll see if Supernova can make up another push, though, because they cleared all of their checkpoints.
They certainly did. This is the exact position that they want to be in right now. You know, they want those checkpoints cleared out so that they can continue those pushes. They have a lot of ground that they need to cover, though. They don't have enough ink to be able to move freely throughout the map at this point. That's how Kyo got there. Remember you said how to get there? Beacons. Beacons are wonderful, and I love watching them.
Yeah. Beacons are definitely very interesting and open up a lot of possibilities there. Zero's able to take Kyo out of the sky here. Now another 2-down situation might be in the window of opportunity once more for Supernova. Armor was just used, though, in order to break back into mid, so Arashi is going to have to very quickly charge up the rest of Armor. I want to see Arashi step forward, take care of a lot of this yellowing. We're in the final seconds of this game. The tower's going to go down. Autocam, come on, please show me what's going on the tower. Doesn't even matter, though. Char's on this baller here, trying to get some work done. All that FTWin has to do is step on the tower. Bercy is going to be the one to do that, and that's going to be taking FTWin now. That's already match point, folks. FTWin 4-0.
Very nice. Very nice. Match point?
Yeah, match point, which means that one more game gets them to victory.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
we have one more, right?
Yep.
I can game. I can count. I promise.
Yeah.
I promise. I don't count that well, but I try really, really hard. So that's what counts, right?
Yeah, that is.
Pun intended.
Yeah. You know.
Oh, Lily will come after me later on. But for now, Rainmaker on the Reef. This is another one that I think FTWin kind of picks the less chosen path on this map, and I really appreciate watching them here, so I wonder if that's what they're going to go for again. Maybe that is why they ended up picking this map, and you know, something that they'll be able to work a little more on. What's Supernova's response here, though, Kbot? Like, what can they do at this point? Because this is their last game. They have to clutch this out to be able to continue moving forward.
You know, I'm actually going to switch this over. Hey, Dragonudo, I see you in chat. Why don't you tell me what Supernova needs to do? You were the one that predicted Supernova 5 forward this. So I want to hear that from him. And we're going to load in the game while he types that one out. Rainmaker on the Reef, FTWin's pick. And again, probably something that Supernova's going to struggle on here a little bit more. They're not going to have a lot of windows of opportunity to dive around the map and go for these aggressive plays. I want to see them continue to step forward. I want to see them cause havoc. And they just have not been able to do that so far in this set. Very similar weapons across the board here as we hop right into it. Looks like Supernova going to be able to get the first pop here. But again, neither one of these teams are really going to step on too far forward. Incombers popped both directions and very neutral to start things off.
Absolutely. You know, that's kind of what you expect, right? Within these first 30 seconds. We don't always expect a really fast knockout, which can happen for Rainmaker, but I think right now Supernova is feeling pretty good. They have Bagel on the retreat here. 2v1 situation. Bagel does get a beautiful shot there with that inkjet. Oh, nope, gets taken out, and a little bit of an assist coming up from, I believe that was, is that Kyo on the Subtle Flasher? Yep. Okay, so yeah, coming up from Kyo there. Exactly what you want to see, and what another thing I love about watching FTWin.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing, is Bagel was able to stall for enough time to allow Kyo to come on in and pick up that last kill, punishing that for Supernova. And now Zero tries to find this onto Bagel, but the current Nautilus main is going to be the winner of that battle. And now FTWin locks down this bridge. They're going to pick up the Rainmaker. They're going to perhaps go for a push here. Bagel in the Inkjet once more. What can he do? Is able to find the trade onto Zero, but it's a 2-down situation for FTWin, and the Rainmaker goes down unattended to. Varsity trying to take that off the left side, but it is going to mean it's handed over to Supernova.
This is where, you know, really, really smart of them to kind of run that left side, but I think that Supernova has wised up a little bit to their antics and like, hey, we're going to cover that pathway because we know that's where you're going, and they did a really nice job of shutting it down. 5 points shy of taking the lead for FTWin. Looks like Supernova is in possession once again of the Rainmaker. They are going to push that across bridge. I think they're going to go straight across bridge there. That is what they're doing, but not going to make it because Biscuit is just too quick.
Swarmed by the members of FTWin once more. There's very little paint support around, and now it's a 3-down situation for Supernova. FTWin has the ability to take a push here. They're going to just hop on box, get the largest scoring push on this map so far. Bursty continuing to try to gain a couple more points, down to 29, which is going to be beneficial here, but especially beneficial on something where we just have not been able to see Supernova win a team fight on offense.
This is where it gets really tough, right? They do have a long way to go here. Beautiful shot, though. That's exactly what we need to see. Arashi getting a really nice pick. 3 down on the side of FTWin. This is going to be that reverse play, right? Jumping up on box. Arashi misses that jump. Really tough luck there because now it gives a good amount of time for FTWin to get into position to defend, which I believe is what they're going to be doing in a second here. But Arashi's still making this push. Nice job.
Russia was able to take the lead. There was no focus down from FTWin on that specific defense, and now it's a 1-for-1 right now. Zero trying to find something else here. Doesn't have the Inkjet ready to try it to take care of Biscuit. So it looks like the FTWin is going to hold on to this Rainmaker with plenty of paint control, but Kyo steps a little bit too far forward, gets taken down. Zero again, can't seem to do much. Is going to try to charge up this Inkjet, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Rainmaker's going to reset back to mid. It's going to mean Supernova's going to have to push back in. We'll see if they can do just that. We'll see if they can maybe invite FTWin out in order to make sure that this defensive position does hold, because Biscuit's putting in so much work on this ball point.
Absolutely. Really, really nice job there. Even, I mean, right there, like, you would think Biscuit would have gone down there. Did not. Was able to survive. Was able to use all of the little elements of this map, which is one of the things that we really like about it, to kind of stay alive at that position. Bursty over here. Smart. Backing off just when he knew that he was not going to be able to kind of maintain that position there. Will wait another few seconds, I think, just waiting for that little bit of cover. Ooh, not quite enough. And one more point, though. They did get one more point there.
One more point, but it's not going to be enough right now. Supernova has control of the lead. They have control of the Rainmaker, and they might even just try to stall this out for a little bit more. Let this maybe reset back into mid. It's probably too much time in order to like stall this further back towards their spawn, but it is going to be an FTWin. Look at Kyo trying to step forward, trying to get something done with this ink armor, and now Bagel is going to be the one to step forward. Mercy picks up the Rainmaker and is going to go down, and again, getting completely locked down right now. The defense position is very strong on this map. This is one of the choke points here. We'll see if Supernova can hold on. Biscuit's going to need to find a pick from Park. Here comes Bagel with the Inkjet and the Incomer. I assume is going to come out soon here. First, he picked up a Rainmaker. It's going to get taken down by Arashi. The baller comes in. It's not going to be able to do much work at all. Juan and Kyo trade on the right side by the car, but Zero's going to be able to pop this Rainmaker, and now Supernova is going to have the perfect opportunity to go for the stall. They should win this. Knock on wood.
Oh, never predict something like that, Kbot. You set yourself up for the curse right there. There's plenty of time left for FTWin to pull out one of these plays that they are very, very famous for, which is those crazy pushes. I think there's certainly a possibility. Not quite. They were so close there. I think if they had that one extra little bit of player ink to come up and burst that Rainmaker shield, then that could have been it for them. That was amazing. That was so good.
Supernova finds a game, and if the game clock had about 5 more seconds, they would have lost the game.
Yep.
That's how close that was, everybody. So Supernova is able to find one. Now we get to go to their pick on Splat Zone's Humpback Pump Track, which is going to be something that I expect to see Chara pull out the Explosion on. They're probably going to be a little more comfortable. Again, much more open. Plenty of room for players like Zero, like Juan to just find something, find an angle, find some kind of, find something that FTWin wasn't expecting. The other interesting thing I think, or sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The other thing that I want to comment on about that last game is that push where Supernova did get it down as far as they did. They only did because FTWin was so far spread out. Kyo was on the right side, distracted by someone else. Bursty was like enclosed on the other side of the map. There were only 2 members of FTWin sitting there around that Rainmaker, and somehow Supernova was able to find the 3v2 engage in order to like get Arashi up there far enough in order to win themselves that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's like you can misstep and do one tiny play that is going to give that opportunity for the other team to take the lead, which is what we saw. I think a really interesting thing that we also saw was that Arashi was able to kind of take the pushes that we've seen come out from FTWin, these like solo pushes where I know I'm not going to go so far, I'm going for the points because I know that it's going to be a really short step to this lead and I want to do that. So right there, I thought that it was really nice. I'm very excited to see how Supernova does on their map pick here, especially facing down some of the changes, I guess, that we've seen. Not much, right? Just that Soda Slosher, which we saw last game too. So I don't know. We'll see if FTWin feels a little more comfortable or less comfortable, I guess, on this map with the Soda Slosher.
I will say the ball point probably into this Explosion, as you see right there, actually that was the Nautilus, but still, being able to find that pick is going to be critical for FTWin to mount their advantages here. Making sure that they can lock down Chara on that Explosion. Will it be very beneficial for them? That Explosion can be very annoying. The Incomer is going to be used here. Can Supernova capitalize on it? Specials get popped back the other direction. Plenty of bombs hang out on zone here. Star Wars on the map. I think we should be focusing somewhere else here. Bagel's going to go down here nonetheless to Juan. Juan trying to step on forward here. Is able to find another, it looks like. Now Kyo's going to be the next on the chopping block. That's going to be a very nice retake coming in from Supernova.
Absolutely. That's the exact kind of play that we want to continue to see from them. I like this little bit of sharking that Juan is doing as well. I think we've got these distractions going on with Zero over here, and Juan just coming in at flexing, turning around to back up their teammate, which I think is what you need, right? You need to be able to turn those 1v1s into 2v1s, even if you're just out there to distract someone. If you can still cause your opponents to pay attention and possibly go down from that, then that's going to be a win on that little fight right there.
Keep this for long enough. 1 point is going to be the difference right now. That means the lead is not going to go in favor of Supernova. Chara forced to jump out here as well to try to reset these timers. But now Juan and Zero are on the front lines. Have to be careful that they're not the ones that are taken out first by Biscuit. It's going to mean the recap coming in here. Here comes Arashi with the armor. Zero stepping on forward already. But Kyo coming in from behind is going to take out Arashi. 2 down for FTWin. But I assume it's going to be another one to follow for Supernova. Kyo actually caught off guard. Is going to drop into the trench and is going to go down. And Supernova is able to find these retakes onto this zone. They have 3 specials ready to defend whenever FTWin wants to. It's going to be a very well contested next zone down.
They have to stay alive in order to use those specials, though, and I think that that's something that they need to be really, really conscious of when they pop these, right? So they did get one come out. They are 4 seconds, 3, 1. They are able to take that lead. Very, very nice job from them right there. Using the specials very intelligently, as you mentioned that they probably would for that defense. They are able to do it. And I was going to say, I'm like, what is going on?
I wanted to see Chara pop that baller on the zone to try to go and maintain this for the knockout, but they're going to go 3 down here, and FTWin has another opportunity to take the lead back. Still very close in this game, and plenty of time left on the game clock as well. You'll note, again, can Supernova find this? It's looked very scrappy and very close in some of these takebacks onto the zone, but they've been able to find the angles necessary. Here's Arashi with the armor as well. Bengal trying to come up from behind with the Inkjet, but now as we focus our attention towards the zone, it's going to be a 2-down situation for Supernova. It's the lead back over to FTWin. Arashi goes down as well, and this could very well be the knockout and end of the set. I believe it will be, as Chara is now the only one alive for Supernova.
Certainly looks like it could be. I mean, Char's doing what they can to like get that zone covered as much as they can with that Explasher, but it's just not enough at that point. And I think that they really did play very well though, and it was a really good game for Supernova. I think them being able to like learn from their sets, you know, when we talk about teams going back and watching their VODs and VOD reviews, this was a really good one that I think they need to continue to watch because they had a lot of very strong plays collectively, and I think that it just came down to FTWin being having the stronger plays.
Yeah.
In general. Yes?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree. And that's the thing we know from FTWin, right? We know that they're going to be the ones that are going to be the favorites to come out, whether they're the mechanically skilled players, whether the ones that are able to employ the strategies necessary in order to come back. We just haven't seen that as much out of Supernova. So the set very much goes as probably a lot of people expected. Supernova had their moments to shine, but at the end of the day, FTWin has more. They win 5-1 on the day, and I believe that nearly locks themselves for playoffs. I'm going to take a look at my little sheet here, if I can find it again. But yeah, I mean, again, props to Supernova here, though, right? It's not like they didn't go down without a fight.
So I want to see, because I haven't had the opportunity to cast one of these yet. I know that you guys do these wonderful like predictions, which I really like, and I want to see who was it who got it on the nose, and that was definitely Rissa. Thought that FTWin would take the set with 5-1. Perfect call right there. So I'm interested to see when you've been keeping track of who has the closest.
Yeah, it's at the bottom, right? It's at the bottom of that.
Oh, they get points. That's what those points are? That I didn't understand. Okay, I'm sorry. So you can't count yourself because you know too much. So after you, I think 9 also. No, I'm kidding. But I think really, really nice job all of you do to kind of make these predictions and come up with what's going on, and I really love it. I think it's great. Even Twitter being able to be counted in there, and maybe one day I'll throw my hat in the ring.
It's a lot of fun. And I also know that there's a lot of people playing along with us, right, that are doing their own predictions and that are keeping their own tally. Shout outs to Yoshi, who keeps bragging to me that he has me beat by 1 point right now, but that's besides the point. So I just took a brief look at my little playoffs cheat sheet right now, and assuming that FTWin beats Slaughterhouse, the final match of Starburst versus FTWin will determine who gets first or second seed. If FTWin loses to Slaughterhouse, there's a 3-way tie, and it comes down to game differential, and that's going to get messy. So, if you're a fan of Chaos, you are really rooting for Slaughterhouse next week against FTWin. We'll have to see how that goes. Slaughterhouse has had their on moments as well. They didn't look as strong last week versus Supernova, but they looked very good against, to the eye, against Starburst. Or maybe that's because Starburst isn't as high. I mean, that's the weird thing, right, is that we're looking at very small sample sizes in the grand scheme of things, so it's very difficult to start pinning down these teams.
Yeah, and I think the small sample sizes is like a really good point, but I think also when we look at the history of how the teams have played previously, we can kind of factor in, and that's obviously what you're using for your predictions as well. But looking at how historically they've played with one another, and then how they've grown is one of the things that I really enjoy, just like we saw with both of these teams tonight, and something that I'm looking forward to the finals and seeing how that all shakes up. I know that we're down to the wire, right? Like, this is getting really close to those that final weekend.
It's getting really close for North America. We've still got a little bit of a ways to go in Europe, but it's getting really close to North America, in large part thanks to the fact that Sayonara dropped, which kind of voids out a lot of the games. As well, there are 2 rescheduled matches so far in the European division, so still plenty of time there, but we are quickly running out of time. FTWin still controls their own destiny. They go up 5-1 over Supernova tonight, and again, going to be interesting to see. Also going to be interesting to see how much they decide to stick with Bagel in for one of the supports, because, I mean, really, any combination of those 5 players, being Joe, Toon, Bercy, Biscuit, Bagel, you pick any 4, and they're just going to, like, be very good together as a unit. So I'm very curious to see how Bagel's going to play into things overall, and we got our first glimpse of that tonight.
Yeah, and one of the things I just thought of that I kind of wanted to touch upon in case Supernova comes back and watches this, you can please come at me if I'm wrong. But one of the things I noticed that in the games that they did really well, specifically on Rainmaker and even tower control on Manta Maria when they were pushing towards getting that lead, when they focused on paying attention to objective a little bit more than going for those picks, they were able to get those objective movements that they wanted to. They were able to maintain the tower. They were able to move the Rainmaker. So I would say, personally, if there's one thing I want to see from Supernova the next time I have the pleasure to watch them play, is how can they focus a little bit more of that objective play? Is it that, like, FTWin, any one of them can jump on that objective and they can take it where it needs to go for the time that they can stay alive, right? And I think if Supernova can work that a little bit more into their playstyle, where they're not having to wait for someone to be designated, Rainmaker carrier or Tower Rider, I think that could really improve their, I want to say, their teamwork a little bit, but that's probably not the correct word, and I'm failing for words. But I think it'll be pretty good to see.
I will say, on the flip side, the other thing for me is that Supernova looked a little afraid tonight. It didn't look like to me that they were as comfortable as they have been in the past, right? Where, Zero's just going forward and finding a bunch, and, like, Juan is able to cause what I said, causing chaos earlier, right? Mm-hmm. They just really weren't able to quite do that tonight. I don't know if that was a comfort thing. I don't know if it's a nerve thing. I mean, it's FTWin, this is our moment to take down the heroes. But unfortunately, that moment does not come today. I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Melissa, it was an absolute pleasure casting with you. Of course, you can find Melissa there. Her Twitter is right underneath her.
Double E.
Hey, I pointed the right direction. Down there.
You did. First try, too.
First try. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Kbot. This has been wonderful. I really appreciate you having me on tonight, and it's always so much fun to cast with you, so thank you.
Absolutely. Everyone, we will see you all tomorrow night on Ninja Stream, where we are going to have Lemonade versus Radiance. Should be another set that will be interesting to watch, and you're not going to want to miss. That will happen at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Central European Time. That will do it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will catch you all next time. Take care, everybody.
Good night.